Hey everyone, welcome back to another Kevin's Kreations here on Geektopia Island. I'm Kevin.
I'm Gardwell.
And we're back today to showcase the brand new set, the Game of the Gods. Thank God we're here, you know. We're back and finally doing the dual cluster stuff. It's been a little bit of like chaos with them getting the set out and they had to push it back, blah, 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 blah. But the set is finally here.
Yep.
We're finally starting to make decks with the cards and it's going to be super fun to play these decks. We're back to like single rulers that are weird in their own regard, which we'll get to.
Yep.
But they do lots of cool things, and they are definitely going to shake up standard and how the game is played right now. I don't know if they're going to like overtake the double rulers, but they're definitely not to be overlooked.
Yeah, for sure. So of course we'll go do our deck brawls with the single rulers first, and then we'll start mingling them together and see how it all goes together.
The first deck we're going to go over today is our boy Odin, the God of War.
Yep.
And the deck's called the Vault of Faith. It's a pretty fun little deck. But before we get into it, guys, we want you that we do have a Patreon. The link is down below. Go check it out. It just takes $1 to give us some love and support. We greatly appreciate it.
And also down below is the link to our, of course, Force of Will deck app that we have for Apple and Android. It's FOW Grimoire. And there you can make the decks that, we're building ourselves right now, and any deck that you can think of and create together. So hopefully just go and do that, put it together, share it down in the comments below, and it should be pretty fun.
Yeah. With that, guys, let's delve into the vault. So, our boy Odin, the God of War / the Order of Faith. That is the new like ruler mechanic, as they're called orders.
Yep.
So they're rulers into orders. They don't have a backside. They don't have a J ruler side. They turn into what's called an order. And essentially, it's just a world addition. Is essentially what it is.
Yeah.
You can't target it, but it does things for you. We'll get into it.
Yeah.
So, Odin, the God of War, he's a villain, and you can only have villains in the deck. You cannot have tails. And then Revolution Order, which is pay 0 once per turn. As you play a Resonator spell, you can choose to order it. If you do, that Resonator gains. Players cannot chase to this card, cannot be canceled, cannot be moved to a zone other than the field. As that Resonator is the field, put this card on its order side face up. So, whenever you do that, this dude gets to turn into an order.
Yep.
He also has Force Command Faith, which is all that means is apply all Force Resonance Faith abilities on cards you control. Simple terms, if it says Force Command Faith and you have this dude, you get that text box.
Yeah, it unlocks whatever abilities are.
All it is it unlocks this special text for that stuff. His backside is an order, the Order of Faith. The card that you ordered, the Resonator you ordered, becomes a J ruler instead of a Resonator.
Yeah.
It still gets all of its triggers. It is guaranteed to come in because it can't be canceled or can't be done with.
Yeah, basically all these gods bestow their strength onto whatever ruler or whatever Resonator you play on the field.
Mm-hmm. And they become a J ruler, and then those abilities can't be removed or lost by the ordered card in any way.
Yeah.
And it still gains Force Command Faith. Enter, you may search your deck for a light card and put it in the graveyard from your deck, which is super strong. And then the ordered card gets +X, where X is the total cost. And we have a lot of ways to manipulate that. That's what Odin does.
Yep.
And then finally, when you call a Magic Stone while the ordered card is rested, calling a Magic Stone doesn't cause it to rest either. So it doesn't take away from you having a Resonator you can still attack with and stuff. And even if it's tapped, it can still call a stone. That's the cool thing about orders and about an revolutionized Resonator.
Yeah.
Wow, that was difficult.
Some RR there.
Yeah. It's a really cool mechanic. We're interested to see how it works out. We've not played it completely in a tournament or anything like that, but we're gonna find out soon.
Yeah. So easily everyone can get used to it and all that fun stuff. Because I thought that was gonna be the problem, is people are gonna be like, what is happening? But it sounds very simple and awesome. So of course the first Resonator we have to bestow is Soldier of Minerva. Is a 4/4 for 1 soldier. If this card would be put in the graveyard from anywhere, remove it from the game instead. If you do, if an effect you control would refer to the total cost of light card in any zone, which Odin, that's what wants to happen, you may have it revert to total cost +1 instead. And with the Revolution, when of course Odin gets placed on this, enter, draw a card, put 2 1/1 counters on this card. So here's a very quick thing to hopefully bump up that number, the total cost number, for the rest of the game.
Yeah, and I think she's one of the best like 1-drops in the game for that, just because it, like, maybe not the best in the game totally, but for what it does, it's really cool because it's just a 1-drop 4/4 that's gonna. They have to answer it, and when they do, it just helps you out later.
So technically, it comes at 6/6, and with Odin's ability, it's a 7/7. turn 1.
Yeah.
So you're already...
If you revolutionize.
Yeah.
You can. Just know that you don't get your ruler back to do another one until that first dude dies.
Yeah, exactly.
Next up is Misteltein, the Dark Sword Saint, which is probably one of the best 1-drops right now.
Oh, yeah.
1 white, Misteltein. She is a 4/4 with Villain and Pierce. Non-will activate abilities of other J Resonators cannot be played.
Yeah, thanks.
And then Revolution, she gains all of the following text as long as she's in order. Prevent all damage that will be dealt to this card. At the end of turn, recover this card. And you can discard a card, put X1 counters on this card where X is the total cost of the discarded card, then draw a card. Play this ability only during your turn and only once per turn. That card's insane because it just gives it free value on plussing.
Yes.
And all the cards that make your stuff bump up, they do it by anywhere. So if you discard one of those, then you get to free help yourself with getting counters and making things go up.
And you remove it, and then you draw a card, so you're not losing your hand by doing this ability.
Yeah. You don't lose any value, and you're going to be able to get all those cards back in the graveyard that you discard, so you can do it not really worrying.
This card's insane.
It's pretty ridiculous.
Super. All right, next one, of course, is Lumia, Princess of the Rebirth / Wings of the Light and Darkness. So it's a 1-drop Resonator, 2/5, quick cast. Enter, you gain life equal to the amount of life you lost this turn, which is amazing, and you draw a card. And then, of course, the quick cast of the Chant side, which is 1 Darkness. Remove target Resonator from total cost 2 or less from the game if this card was awakened, and put Lumia in part of the field instead. That's amazing.
And you awaken it with 1 white. It's an old card. We're still playing them in the Saga set cluster because we're still in both the clusters. So know that, but this card is still very, very strong.
And there's a card that's later in this deck that will just work with this.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
Next up is another split card from the Saga, which is Flute, Captive, Dragonoid Child / Common, a group of Comets. 1 white for a 1/4 barrier, tap produce white, or tap put a 1/1 counter on another entity you control.
Yep.
So you can pump your dudes up, or you can just add free mana, which is most likely what you're going to need it for. And then for a chant, for 3 white and 1, destroy all J Resonators with no 1/1 counters on them. So it just helps you kill the board if you need to.
Yep, and hopefully a one-sided one as well.
Mm-hmm.
Next one, of course, is Dark Mage of Majaht. It's a 1 darkness, 4/4. It has Bane. Enter, target J Resonator gains -4/-4 until end of turn, which, as you can see, all these are pretty much -4 already.
Mm-hmm.
Revolution. Enters, your opponent banishes 2 Resonators. If they don't, your opponent banishes a card, or discards a card for each Resonator, not banished this way. This card's busted.
Yeah, so
for a normal.
So of all of the mages of the set, I'm pretty sure this one by far takes the win.
Yeah.
And in general, this card is definitely going to be played everywhere.
Yeah.
So know that. Like, regardless of what you're playing, if you're playing black, you should be playing this card.
Most turn 1s will always have everyone at 3 cards in hand as quickly as possible because this card is so great.
And if you think about it, this card kills 4 things.
Yeah.
4 creatures. Because it comes into play, you kill a 4/4. They have to sacrifice 2, and then it has Bane itself, so it kills a 4th one.
Yeah.
So 1 for force.
So even if you go second, you're still
neat.
You're getting more value, technically.
Yeah, card is insanely good.
Extremely.
All right, so now the main linchpin of the deck, one of the cards that makes Odin so strong is Brunhild Shield, Sign of Faith. 2 white and 1 for a 10/10 flying drain.
10/10.
You know,
cool. Flying drain.
Why not? It has enter, put target non-chant light card from your graveyard into the field. Doesn't matter what it is. Just any non-chant. And then if this would be put into the graveyard from anywhere, remove it. It adds 2 to your total cost of anything in the zones that you choose. And then its revolution, apply the revolution of all light resonators you control. So of all the other things that have revolution, you get their abilities as well. Yep. So you can add counters, you can do all kinds of other stuff. You get all of the silly stuff that Misteltein can do, prevent damage, discard, all the shenanigans.
It's just so good.
It's kind of disgusting, and for 3 mana, you get 2 creatures. You get 2 Resonators mostly, which is what you mostly want to do with this.
With a lot of upside, and it's a 10/10 flying drain.
Yeah.
Like, okay, thanks. Next one is Heigl, Giant of the Dark Sun. It is also 2 white and 1 for another 10/10. It's a villain, and it has drain as well. That's a theme. With the revolution, choose a Resonator or chant. Your opponent cannot play cards with chosen type as long as this card is in the field.
So you remember Brunhild? When she comes in, she brings a dude back.
Yeah.
You just choose this one, and you just be like chant and Resonator.
Yeah.
No, don't play either.
Just don't. Yeah.
Good luck. Kind of dumb.
So how are you gonna get rid of this whole team? You don't.
It's
Sorry.
kind of dumb.
It's very dumb.
Next is the Praying Valkyrie. It is 2 white and 1 for a 9/9 flyer. If it's put in the grave from anywhere, it removes itself and adds +1. And then you pay a white, you discard this card to draw a card, so it literally fuels itself by drawing a card and removing itself, because it's kind of disgusting like that. Revolution, if you gain 1,000 life, draw 2 cards if this total cost is 5 or more. So essentially what that means is if you have 2 more things removed or add +2 to your whatever your total cost is, when this comes into play, it checks and it becomes a 5 cost. You don't actually pay for 5, it becomes a 5 cost.
Yeah.
And you gain 5, or you gain 10,000 life. You gain 1,000, draw 2 cards. So it's kind of disgusting.
Pretty simple, pretty awesome. Next one, of course, is Hunting Angel, because why not? It's 2 white and 2. It's a 12/12 flying. Destroy target resonator your opponent controls. You gain life equal to the defense. White, discard this card. Destroy target attacking resonator just in case you need early game. And then, yeah. And then Fallen, you don't do the Fallen because there's no trigger, but still a destroy a dude. I have a bigger dude.
Yeah, either way, you're killing a dude, whether it's into play or you discard it to kill an attacker.
Yeah.
Hunting Angel is still going to be very relevant, still very good in these kind of decks. And in this one, it adds 4 because of Odin's order.
Yeah.
Next is Farya, Igniter of the Holy Fire. She is 2 white and 2 red for a 12/12 swiftness. Enter, search your deck for any number of cards with the name first Boon, Excalibur. Reveal them and put them in your hand. Each turn, you may play 1 card named first Boon, Excalibur without paying its cost. And then prevent the first damage that will be dealt to this card each turn. You gain that much life. This card is super good, and it will still see play because in this deck it's really funny because Brunhild gets to bring this back for 3 mana, and you get to go search for all 4 boons and have free card draw.
Yeah.
Because it's really good, and you get another Swifty dude. You're just like, cool, bring it in for 3 and take 12.
And yeah, exactly. Enjoy.
And I get to add 3 cards to my hand that turn.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
That will just wreck the rest of the game. The next one is Geri and Freki, Greedy Wolves, is 3 white and 2. So it's a 13/13. It has Villain's Clause, and then it has Enter, remove target non-magic stone, non-J-roller entity your opponent controls from the game. When this card is put in the graveyard from the field, you do the exact same thing. And that's just good.
Mm-hmm.
It's just really, really good.
These wolves are cool. You don't really need more than like 1 or 2 of them.
Yep.
Because in a deck like this, you're going to recur them a lot. And it's just, once they're done their ability once, it's not really like major.
Yeah, exactly. And just the fact that, like we said, we can ditch this to the thing to get counters and then bring Brunhild back. Yeah, exactly.
Next is the Holy Shield of Misteltein. It is 1 white. In its addition, tap if you control a J ruler until the end of turn, then prevent the next damage that will be dealt to you while you control a J ruler is dealt to the J ruler you control instead. Play this ability only if you control a J ruler. If an effect you control refers to the total cost of any card in any zone, it adds +3 instead.
Yep.
So as long as this is in play, it adds 3 to your total cost.
Which is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, one of the best 1-drops ever made, probably. It's called Keep the Faith. So quick cast for 1 white. Choose one. Target J resonator gains +4/+4 flying and drain until end of turn. Put target non-magic stone, non-chant card with the total cost 1 or less from the graveyard into the field. Nice. Put a resonator part of the target alternative card with the resonator part on the total cost 1 or less from the graveyard from the field. And then force Resonance Faith instead of add the following options and then choose, choose all of them, right? Choose destroy target J resonator you control, and if you do, cards equal to the total cost.
Yeah, you get to kill the thing and draw if you have if you have faith.
Yeah.
Then otherwise you're choosing one of the other 3 effects. This card's insane.
Yeah.
In Odin, it's definitely a super good card because it gets back every good 1-drop you want to use, like Misteltein, all the other little dudes. It gets back the Lumia that we talked about and the Flute that we talked about.
Yep. Brings them back.
Both of those get to come back. It's so good. Like, this card's insanely good.
And if you want to kill your dude so Odin can be on something else, then you just basically kill your dude and draw 2 cards. Because he triggers the faith, so therefore, done.
Yep.
You don't lose value.
And then if you need to, you should be like, cool, my dude gets bigger and I get to kill you now.
Yeah, exactly. Or I gain a bunch of life because I'm on the edge. So, thanks.
Next is Odin enters the Game of the Gods. It is 1 white, quick cast. choose one. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck. Put one in your hand, one in the graveyard, and one in the remove zone. You put X 1/1 counters on target J resonator you control, where X is the highest total cost among entities you control.
Yep.
And force Resonance Faith. Destroy up to 1 target non-Magic Stone entity with total cost X or less, where X is the total cost of entities you control.
For 1 white.
1 white, you get to kill a thing and either set up your deck or
make another dude bigger.
Make a dude bigger. And that's pretty much what you're doing in a deck like this because it's super strong. Like, it helps you just do a lot of stuff, and it's 1 mana to draw a card.
That technically, I mean, a lot of people play those cards in all TCGs.
Mm-hmm.
The next one, of course, is the first Boon Excalibur. It's a red and a white quick cast. Choose one, remove up to 3 target cards from the top of your deck from the game. They gain, you may play this from the card from your removed area as long as they are in the removed area. Produce 4 wheels of any combination of attributes. Spin this only to play heroes. So we just doing the first one for sure.
Yeah.
But in the turn, be like, all right, let's just do this and see what we have.
Yeah, but if you have Faria, which you're probably going to have, this is literally a free card.
Yeah.
And you draw 3. Like, you get 3 cards that you can play at any time, as long as you can play them.
Exactly.
Next is Repeating Faith Revival. It is white and 2. Put target light resonator or light alternative card from the graveyard into the field. You may put only the resonator part of an alternate card into the field. Faith Resonance is players cannot chase this card. Put this card into its owner's hand as it resolves. This card is so good.
Beyond broken,
so
I feel.
You 3 mana, you always get to return a dude from the graveyard.
Yeah.
Like, you're playing Faith Resonance, so you don't really, it doesn't matter. You're just like, cool, pay 3, return Faria to play. Cool, swing 12. If you kill her again, then I just do it again.
And you should hopefully already have Faith Resonance on the field, so you just get this back.
Mm-hmm.
And then just no matter what. You know, like, it's insane.
It's kind of disgusting.
Yeah, very disgusting, very powerful. That's going to be, I think, a channel favorite for this whole set
probably
going through. All right, the next one, of course, is Arena Expansion Asgard. It is a black, green, and white. So J rulers you control gain drain, and then Force Resonance Faith. When this card is put in the graveyard from the deck, put it onto the field. So super good, awesome.
So when you order a card, you go get this and put it in the graveyard, and then it comes into play.
Yep.
So your ordered cards always get drain. / you can always use Odin Enters the Game of Gods because it still technically goes from the top of the deck to the graveyard. So then it comes into play that way.
Yeah, done. Easy stuff.
And the last card of the main deck is the Holy Sword of Misteltein. It is 1 white. Quick cast Eternal. If more than 1,000 damage will be dealt to you, the 1,000 damage is dealt to you instead. Awakening 1 white, enter, destroy target rested J resonator. And then Faith Resonance is you may pay 6 less to play this card.
Yeah, it's 7, but yeah, he said it's 1 white. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Technically, this card you could put in the sideboard easy enough, but I wanted to see what it can do actually playing in the main board. And you have a chance to get it for free with any of the with Brunhild, because she brings back any card that doesn't matter.
Yeah, and it's an addition, so there you go.
Yeah. I don't know. I just wanted to try it, but technically it's probably a better sideboard card than anything if you're playing against like heavy, like take quick damage. But it's definitely usable.
Yep.
All right, for the stones, it's still time for the stone because this stone is still really strong. This is the magic stone of the 6 sages. It's not as good because you're only playing 1 ruler. Recover a ruler you control, produce a 1, or produce 1 mana of any attribute. Play this only if you control a recovered J ruler. Which, as long as you have an ordered dude and you haven't tapped to call a stone yet, but you can't tap to call a stone, so you get to add mana of any color.
Yep.
But you just got to make sure you're playing careful with that because you got to tap that stone first.
In the right order.
Yeah. Magic Stone of Guidance, which is really funny for this deck. It adds a white, or it adds a 1 wheel of any attribute. Play this only for heroes. The only hero we have in the deck is Faria, so if you have Faria in your hand, you get to add the red with this stone, or you always get to add the white to play any other card in the deck.
Simple as that.
Epic Stone of the Blood. It is 1 black, or it produces a black, and then revenge if something's died this turn. On your side, you tap, put 2/1 counters on target resonator. It's mostly there to play the Dark Mage if you need to, but you don't have to. And then lastly, we have Amadeus, the Holy Crystal. It is tap, produce a white, and produce 1 wheel of any attribute. Play this ability only if your opponent has 2 or more J rulers. It's better than a light magic stone because it has the chance to add more.
Yeah, just in case.
It's still a light magic stone in the grand scheme of things, and that's really all you need to do is have the light magic on turn 1, and if you get extra mana, you get extra cool mana.
Done.
We do have some honorable mentions just because they're cards that could be used, and one is definitely going to be used as a sideboard card against Odin, which I hate saying, but it's just you have to.
Yeah.
But first off, we got the Villain's Magic Stone. It is the villains, produce one colorless, and then produce one will of any attribute, play this ability, only play villain resonators. It's kind of meh. Like, it's a cool idea, but I don't have enough villains in this deck for this to matter.
Yeah. And
so
if you do,
you
like,
need the white.
You can build all around it, but there's so many cards out there that just complement each other.
And spells don't have villain tags, so your spells, you have to be able to play them otherwise. Next is Hoogan and Moonen. 2 white and black for a 1/1 Birdmans. He's got Flying and Bane villain. Enter, remove all cards from all graveyards from the game, then put X1 counters on this card where X is the highest total cost among entities you control. Revolution, each player discards their hand.
Cute. It's very, very weirdly cute.
Yeah, it's a neat card if you need to remove their graveyards. And I thought about this card with Brunhild. It's pretty funny because Brunhild gets to be like, hey, cool, I get your Revolution of remove things. But I didn't want to discard my hand at the same time. So I was like, no.
Yeah, we'll see. It puts everyone in top deck mode. The next one is, of course, Grier. Magic Spear of Devotion. So it's a black, green, and white. It's a chant, quick cast, destroy target J Resonators you control, destroy all J Resonators your opponent controls, and then remove all cards in your opponent's graveyard from the game. Just like that. And if you have Faith Resonance Faith, you may pay a white and a black less to play this card during your phase. So it's 1 green to destroy your board. Opponent. Yeah.
Kind of good.
Yeah.
I feel like I have enough kill spells in the main board that I didn't need it. So I put it in the sideboard / extra deck.
Just in case.
Other stuff. Not extra deck, but just the honorable mentions.
Yeah.
Definitely make sure you think about playing that card either sideboard or main board when you're making the deck. And this card is definitely needed, period, right now. Like, I'm going to tell you right now, this card is definitely need to be played as the Exorcist Mage at the Academy. It is 1 white, 4/4, quick cast. This card gains barrier as long as it has a 1/1 counter on it. Cool, whatever, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it helps, but it's not necessary. If a Resonator would be put into the field without being played from your hand, remove it from the game instead.
Yep.
So remember how this whole deck works, where you return everything in the graveyard? This dude tells it no.
Yeah.
You don't get all that. Thanks. Your whole deck, done. And right now with Odin, that's what Odin does. Like, just period, that's what Odin does. You need to make sure you have this to stop Odins and stop any of the other dudes that do silly stuff like this, that make tokens or whatever.
Yeah. Just gets rid of most of everything.
This card literally gets rid of all the tokens and everything that just comes into play. So make sure you're running these in the sideboard at very minimum. But that is it for the Vault of Faith. The deck is super fun looking. I can't wait to play it on stream. We'll show it on stream for sure. Me and Carter will play all kinds of decks.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be a second before we get to the Force Wheel streams because we're not doing anything next week because we got some Christmas parties to go to. But it is what it is. We'll get back to the Force Wheel streams for sure. Don't worry, they're coming.
We got this.
But with that, guys, the deck list will be down below. Go check it out and let us know what you think about the deck down below. See y'all again next time.
Goodbye.
Later. Go ahead and hit that like button down below and hit the notification bell down there to keep up to date with any of our videos that are coming out. And also make sure you subscribe, guys. We're super close to 1,000.
And we'd like to go ahead and give a thank you to our Mythic and Above Patreon subscribers. So thank you, Ryan.
Thank you, Ryan.